Hi students, today's lectures we seen the chapter number first solid states. In 11 standards we already study the states of the matters. So we know that there are three states of the matters. First is the solid states, second is the liquid states, and third is the gaseous states. So the liquid states and the gaseous states, they are already studied into the 11th standard. So today we seen the only a solid states. So what is the solid states? That is the constituents particles are tightly packed. Okay. Therefore, we can say that they have a definite size and the shapes. Or these solids, they are incompressible and they are rigids. Then we see the types of the solids. There are generally two types of the solids. First type is the crystalline solids. So what is the crystalline solids? That is the orderly arrangements of the particles. Then these types of the solids are called as the crystalline solids. Then second types of the solids is the amorphous solids. What is the amorphous solids? That is the particles are randomly arranged. Okay, then these types of the solids are called as the amorphous solids. Then we are interested only the first types of the solid, that is the crystalline solids. Okay, so we study only the crystalline solids. So first of all we seen the classifications of the crystalline solids. So these crystalline solids are mainly divided into the four types. The first is the ionic solids or the crystals. Second type is the covalent networks or network solids or the crystals. Third type is the molecular solids or the crystals, and fourth type is the metallic crystals or the solids. Then we seen the four types of the crystalline solids one by one. Let us see the first types of the solid, that is the ionic solids or crystals. In ionic solids or the crystals, the constituents particles of ionic solids are charged ions. Okay, what is the charged ions? That is they may be cations or they may be anions. Examples, in the example, that is the sodium chloride, that is NaCl. Second example is K2SO4. Third example is the KCl, etc. Then we see the properties of these ionic solids. What are the properties of these ionic solids? We seen that in the ionic solids, the first property is they are having the high melting points and the boiling points. This is the first and important property. Then second is they are hard and the brittles. Third property is they are non-conductors of the electricity in their solid states. Then fourth and the last property, that is they are good conductors in aqueous states. Okay, so these are the four important properties of the solids. Then our next solids, that is the covalents or the network solids, or it is called the crystals. So what is the covalents or the network solids? That is the constituents particles are atoms and joined by the covalent bond to form the large network. Therefore these solids are called as the covalents or the network solids. Examples are, that is the diamonds, graphites and the quartz. These are the best examples of the covalent solids. Then we see the properties of the covalent solids. The first property of the covalent solid, that is they are very hard. Second is they are incompressible. Third is they are having the high melting and the boiling points, and last properties, that is they are poor conductor of heat and electricity. So these are the properties of the covalents and the network solids. Then next types of the solids is the molecular solids or the crystals. What is the molecular solids? That is the constituent particles are molecules, and molecules are held together by weak intermolecular force of interactions. Then these types of the solids are called as the molecular solids or the crystals. Then we see the types of the molecular solids or the crystals. The molecular solids or the crystals, they are classified into the three types. The first type is a polar molecular solids. What is the polar molecular solids? That is the constituents particles are polar molecules. Then these types of the solid is called polar molecular solids. What is the polar molecular solids? That is the, in case of the polar molecular solids, weak dipole-dipole interaction is present between the molecules. For examples, HCl, H2O and SO2. These are the examples of polar molecular solids. Second type is non-polar molecular solids. What is the non-polar molecular solids? If the constituents particles are non-polar molecules, then they are called as the non-polar molecular solids. In non-polar molecular solid, very weak dispersion or the London's force is present between the molecules. Then we see the examples. First example is CH4, that is the methanes. Second is the hydrogens, then argons and the neons. These are the examples. Then third types of the molecular solids is hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Hydrogen bonded molecular solids means the constituents particles are polar molecules but contains hydrogen and highly electronegative atoms like oxygen, nitrogen and the fluorine. Then they are called as the hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Then is the examples of these solids. The first example is ice, then HCl and the NH3. Then is the properties of the hydrogen bonded molecular solids. The first property is they are having the high melting points. Then they are poor conductor of electricity. So these are the properties of the hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Then the fourth types of solids, that is the metallic solids or the crystals. What is the metallic solids or the crystals? That is the constituents particles are metal atoms. Then they are called as the metallic solids or the crystals. Examples: sodium, potassium, copper and iron, etc. These are the properties. The first property of metallic solid is they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Second is they are having the high melting points and the boiling points. They are malleable, and the fourth properties, they are ductiles. Okay, so these all are the properties of the metallic solids. Then we see the next topic of this chapter, that is the crystal lattice or the space lattice. So we understand what is the crystal lattice and the space lattice. Crystal lattice or the space lattice means the lattice is a geometrical arrangements of a lattice points in a three-dimensional periodic array or the patterns. Okay, so it is called the lattice. Then in crystals, the constituent particles, that is they may be atoms, ions or the molecules, are attached to the lattice points to form the basis. So it will be explained with the help of the diagrams. Suppose these are the points. Okay, so we've seen that. So these are the points. So these points are called as the lattice, or we can say that lattice points. Then if a particle is attached to these lattice points, then the particles plus these lattice points, it is called as the basis. And the lattice and the basis, they are collectively to form the crystals. Okay, so these are the lattice points and these are the particles. Okay, so they all together to form these types of the crystals. Then our next point is the unit cells. What is the unit cells? Unit cells, that is the smallest repeating structural unit of the crystalline solids. It is called as the unit cells. Then we see the crystal systems. So the crystal systems, the three edges of a unit cells. Okay, for example, this is the unit cells. Okay, And what are the three edges of the unit cells? We see that this is the A, this is the B, and this is the 3. Okay, so these are the three edges of the unit cell, and the angle between these three edges or the axis. Okay, that is the, for examples, the angles in between these B and C is called the alpha. The angle in between the C and the A is called as the beta, and the angles in between A and the B is called as the gamma. Okay, so they gives rise of 7 types of the crystal systems. Okay, these 7 crystal system, okay, again gives rise of 14 Bravais lattice or the unit cells. Then we see the what is the Bravais lattice. Bravais lattice means the French mathematician Bravais arranged a lattice points into maximum of the 14 types is called as the Bravais lattice. Okay, so then we see the 7 types of the crystal systems. So these are the main 7 types of the crystal system. First is called as the cubic, second is called as the tetragonals, third is called as the orthorhombic, fourth is called as the rhombohedrals, fifth is called the monoclinic, sixth is called triclinics, and seventh is called as the hexagonals. Okay, so these are the 7 main crystal systems. Okay, then after this we seen the types of the unit cells. Okay, so unit cells, the first types of the unit cell is called as the primitive or the simple unit cells. What is the simple or the primitive unit cells? Simple or the primitive unit cell, it means the constituent particles are present only at the corners of the unit cells. Then it is called as the simples or the primitive unit cells. For example, we seen the a cubic unit cells. So this is the cubic unit cells, and it is the examples of the simple or the primitive unit cells. So we seen that there are the 8 corners of this unit cell, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So these are the particles. So these particles are present only at the corners of the unit cells. So it is called the simple or the primitive unit cells. The second type is body centered unit cells. What is the body centered unit cells? The constituent particles are present at corners of the unit cell. In addition to this, one particle is present at center of unit cell. It is called as the body centered unit cells. For examples, so in these unit cells we seen that is the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. In addition to this, one particle is present at the center of the unit cells, so it is called the body centered unit cells. Then third types of the unit cells, that is the face centered unit cells. What is the face centered unit cells? Constituents particles are present at corners of the unit cells. In addition to this, 6 atoms are present at 6 faces. For examples, so this is the unit cells, and we seen that the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. So in addition to this, there are 6 faces of this unit cell. This, for example, this is the top face, so this particle is present on these top faces. Then next is this is the face present at the bottom, so this particle is present at this face, that is the second face. Then this particle is present at the third face, this is present at the fourth face, this is present at the fifth face, and this is present at the sixth face. Okay, it means 6 particles are present at the 6 faces of the unit cells, so it is called the face centered unit cells. Then next types of the unit cell is called as the base centered unit cells. What is the base centered unit cells? That is, constituents particles are present at corners of the unit cells. In addition to this, 2 atoms are present at opposite faces. It is called as the base centered unit cells. For example, suppose this is the unit cells, then we seen that the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. In addition to this, the 2 atoms are present at the 2 faces, that is the one is present at the upper face and second is present at the lower face. So it is called the base centered unit cells. In these chapters we'll study the only the first types of the unit cells or the system, that is the cubic systems. So we have to know the types of the cubic systems. So there are three kinds of the cubic unit cells or the systems. The first is the primitive or the simple cubic unit cells. Then it is also denoted by SC. So what is the simple or the primitive cubic unit cells? In simple or the primitive cubic unit cells, the constituent particles are present only at 8 corners of the unit cells. In these unit cells, only 1/8 portions of atom is inside the unit cells. It means, example, suppose this is the cubic unit cells. So these are the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. But suppose if we take any atoms, okay, then only 1/8 portion of these atoms is present inside the unit cells and another portion is outside the unit cells. From that, we determine the number of particles in unit cells. So we know that only 1/8 portion is present inside the unit cells and there are the 8 atoms are present in cubic simple or the primitive unit cell. Therefore 1/8 multiplied by 8 is equal to 1 particles. It means actually there is only 1 particle is present in primitive or the simple cubic unit cells. The second types of the cubic unit cell is called the body centered cubic unit cell. That is it is also denoted by BCC. What is the BCC or the body centered cubic unit cell? That is the constituent particles are present at 8 corners of the unit cells. In addition to this, one atom is present at the center of unit cell. It is called the body centered cubic unit cells. Suppose this is the diagram of the BCC unit cells. So we see that is the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. But only 1/8 portion of that particles are inside the unit cell. Therefore 1/8 into 8 and one particle is completely present inside the unit cell. Therefore plus 1, that is the 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It means there are actually 2 particles are present in body center unit cells. Then the third types of the cubic unit cell is the face centered cubic unit cells. Okay, what is the face centered cubic unit cells? The face centered cubic unit cells means a constituent particles are present at 8 corners of the unit cells. In addition to that, 6 atoms are present at the 6 faces of the unit cells. It is called as the face centered cubic unit cell and it is also denoted by FCC. So, in case of the face centered unit cells, atoms are present at the faces. Only half portion of that atoms are present inside the unit cells. It means, suppose these are the atoms, they are present at the 6 faces of the unit cells. But only half portion of these atoms, they are present inside the unit cells and half portion is present outside the unit cells. So, we determine the number of the particles. Okay, so we've seen that there are the 8 particles are present at the 8 corners of the unit cells. So and there is only 1/8 portion is inside the unit cell. Therefore 1/8 into 8 plus there are 6 atoms are present at 6 faces. That is the 6 into 1/2. That is the only half portion is inside the unit cell. Therefore is equals to 1 plus this is 3 is equal to 4. It means there are only 4 atoms are present in face centered cubic unit cells. Then our next topics of this chapter, that is the relationship between the molar mass and the density and age length of the unit cells. So for this we taken a cubic unit cells. So this is a cubic unit cells. Then this is the age length of the unit cells. So we know that is all the ages of the cubic unit cells they are same. So we consider that A is equal to the age length of the unit cells. So this is the A. So this is also called the A. This is also called the A. This is also called the A. So all the ages are the similar. So all the ages are called as the A. Then A cubes. What is the A cube? That is the volumes of the unit cells. Then the mass of the one particles, it is called as the, suppose considered as the m, small m, and the number of particles they are present in the unit cell, they are considered as the n, and therefore we determine the mass of the unit cell. What is the mass of the unit cells? That is the mass of the unit cell is equals to m, that is the mass of the one particles into number of particles, that is the m into n. Then from the formula of the density, so we know that what is the density? Density is equals to the mass of the unit cells divided by volume of the unit cells. So we already determined the mass of the unit cells. What is the mass of the unit cell? That is m into n divided by, we know that volume of the unit cell is equal to the A cubes. Therefore rho is equal to the m into n divided by A cubes. Then we know that molar mass of the substance is given by, what is the molar mass? That is the capital M is equals to mass of one particles multiplied by number of particles per moles. What is the mass of the one particles? Mass of the one particle is considered as a small m. Therefore m is equal to small m into number of particles per moles. What is the number of particles in 1 mole of a substance is equals to the Avogadro's number. So it is denoted by Na. Therefore we rearrange this equation, that is we determine the value of the small m. Therefore small m is equal to the capital M divided by Na. Then we got the value of the m in this equation. Then we put this value into this equation number, that is the value in rho. Okay, so we give rho is equals to n into m upon A cube into Na. Okay, so from that equations we seen the relationship between the molar mass and the density. Okay, so m is the molar mass and rho is the density of the unit cells. Okay.